Aftershock starts now.
Coming up on this week's episode of Aftershock,
Dean tells us about a lightning songwriter,
Luca informs us about the dangers attached to social media,
and Michael tells us about a local pet rescue.
What's up, Cypress Bay? I'm Alex Land.
And I'm Nicole Borman, and Aftershock starts now.
Hi, Pop-Tart.
Oh, I love dogs.
Me too. And Michael checked out a pet rescue facility filled with people that reciprocate the same feeling.
These puppies are only a few weeks old.
Perfect.
And when they're not busy play fighting, they really enjoy taking a nap. Thankfully, there are people who dedicate their time to help pups and other critters like them find a roof to sleep under.
And our job is to get them all adopted.
A job like that will always be fulfilled, as long as places like Good Karma still exist.
Good Karma is a 501c3 pet rescue. We do dogs, kittens, bunnies, and guinea pigs.
With no idea what might come knocking at your door, it's impossible to not make a few furry friends.
My first foster, when I did come to Good Karma Pet Rescue, was rescued from Virgin Islands, and it was thrown off a third-story balcony. Her whole entire back was broken, and so she was paralyzed, so she could never use her back legs. However, we did find the perfect family for her, and we do get updated pictures daily. Seeing that we get to see her every day, whether it's pictures, video, anything like that, is great.
While taking care of such cute critters, you tend to learn a couple things.
She was actually going to get adopted. They put her on the bus to bring her and transport her to the rescue event, and she ended up not getting adopted.
Good Karma's vet tech, for example, learned that dogs are very fragile creatures.
She came back and she was throwing up, and I was like, okay, I'll take her home for the weekend. We also ended up sending a fecal sample off to the lab to test for various diseases.
These puppies have hookworms.
But that wasn't the only thing this job would teach her.
Oh, I swear the list of things that she didn't have is much smaller than the list of things that she did have.
She also learned that even with a lot of road bumps,
once I heard that everything was in the clear and she was going to go up for adoption, I was like, there's no way that I can give this dog up.
family will always be worth it.
But it was definitely heart-wrenching.
Because Good Karma isn't fueled just by puppy love, but by the wonderful family that they've adopted.
And I've honestly never loved anything that much in my whole entire life.
Michael Orlando,
Everything is a heartwarming story when you're working in rescue.
CBTV.
Yeah.
What's up, Cypress Bay? I'm Isabella Chiappini, and today we're going to be diving into something that most people, including politicians and doctors, may have overlooked. Let's get into it. For the past couple years, we've been told to cough into the inside of our arms instead of our hands. And for good reason. Whether or not we realize it, we're always touching stuff with our hands, so directing our coughs or sneezes into a different body part definitely helps decrease the spread of germs. Recently, however, the CDC has recommended that we replace handshakes with something called elbow bumping. You've probably seen a bunch of public figures do this, but there's just something that doesn't add up here. If we're being told to cough into the inside of our arms, but also greet people with the same body part, can elbow bumping still be considered safe? While many doctors have actually taken a liking to this new greeting, there's a handful of them that don't approve of it at all, but not because of the reason you might think. It's not because of the probable risk of cross-contamination. It's actually because bumping elbows with someone would put you within 1 meter of that person, which defies the social distancing rules that the CDC has established. So, in the end, it's probably a good idea to address someone from a distance, with a wave, a verbal greeting, or my personal favorite, the air high five that Jim and Pam used in the office. Well, that's it for me. I'm Isabella Chiappini, CBTV.
Politicians are known for their utmost professionalism, but is impressive vernacular and statistical battle plans really what push voters to the polls? Or is it when a voter connects to a politician on a human level that they are swayed in their favor?
So when it comes to the level of politicians, the amount of politicians who are more open about their lives, there's very, very little. In the instance of AOC, where she went on a stream to help push for voting and stuff like that, I mean, I personally see it as I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
As a young voter, it would be more and more, it would be cool to see, more of those public figures out there.
With new forms of media comes new forms of reaching audiences. And some representatives such as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC, are taking advantage of that. But will this be a one and done? Or will politicians see this as a way to grow closer to their voters?
I really hope it's not a one-off, because I do think that that type of attention, that type of thing, like you look at Twitch, they get tens of millions of viewers per day, especially, the high-ranking Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers. They get, 10, 15, 20, 100,000 people watching. I'm pretty sure there was like 400,000 people watching that stream. I think it's a very good thing, digging into that realm of voters to start pick and choose and getting them out there to vote.
Will politicians drop the wall of formality, or will they continue to put on the mask of political decorum? Only time will tell. Logan Seelig, CBTV.
Good evening. I am the Fancy Man, and welcome to the Fancy Man's Guide on Doing Things, where I will teach you how to do everyday tasks. Fancily, of course. Want a cool side of your pillow? Don't just flip it like a madman. Instead, pour ice directly onto your pillow for a wondrous chill. Exquisite. Closing the lid to your lavatory, slamming shut is all wrong. Alternatively, use your thumb and index finger. Pinky up and dip slowly. Marvelous. Want to get a book on a too-high shelf? Don't. Because too-high shelves aren't fancy. Thank you for tuning into my show, and have a fanciful day. Oh ho ho!
Nicole!
What? What's up?
We need to say the next toss.
Oh, what's it about?
Oddly enough, it's about how people in society are too addicted to their phones. Here's Luca with the story.
It's impossible to put down. The world is currently facing its worst addiction ever: social media. According to a recent study, over 92% of teens and young adults are actively using social platforms in their daily lives. Some, however, say that this is a matter of grave concern.
You don't realize it, but you are being programmed.
Over the last few years, many users have started to turn against social media, claiming that its promise of keeping people connected has only helped them drift further apart from reality. This compulsive quality is not by accident. Companies like Facebook and Instagram have intentionally modeled their products off of gambling methods. When using social media, the human brain releases a chemical called dopamine, which produces the exact same effect of smoking and drinking. The more likes and attention received online, the more hooked the person becomes. In contrast, many have claimed that the ability to watch the lives of others on screen has led them to feeling worse about their own.
Basically, it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships. They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief.
According to the US Loneliness Index, over 79% of Generation Z in America suffers from some kind of isolation. Additionally, researchers say that the growing trend of anxiety and depression amongst young adults is only getting worse. Once seen as a technological marvel, social media may just be causing us more harm than good. Luca Vieira, CBTV.
Every species has some form of love. Mating, symbiosis, some form of connection. Well, what is love? Why do we love? Is love even real? To understand that, we must first understand the broader concept of attraction. When we gravitate towards someone in this way, we release a chemical signaling molecule called dopamine. Dopamine is our brain's reward system telling us we like this and we want more of it. Spending time with loved ones can heighten dopamine levels, and another signaling molecule called norepinephrine. And these are both released during this stage of attraction. Well, how do I know I'm in love? Well, love is a part of the subjective well-beings, along with happiness and sadness. It's almost never the same for one person or another, but there can be signs that you're feeling an intimate relationship with someone that can be considered love. Oxytocin is an example of this. When you feel cuddly or cute inside, it's oxytocin being released. Oxytocin reduces blood flow through the gut and results in that queasy, cuddly little feeling that you feel inside your stomach, and that can be considered a butterfly feeling. And lastly, is love real? Well, that's for you to conclude. As we've discussed before, it is a subjective well-being founded on the basis of attraction through signaling molecules such as dopamine and norepinephrine. So, conclude for yourself. Sebastian Fish-Matherin, CBTV.
Nicole, I think I'm one of the best players out there.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, you obviously haven't heard this artistic student that Dean got to know more about.
We both know that it's not fool's gold to us.
This is Andrea Larez, currently a rising star amongst Cypress Bay High students. She's grown tremendously since she's found her talent, wanting to commit to her passion and what makes her iconic.
Her voice, it's what sets her apart and it what makes her unique from everything else. I mean, playing the guitar and the piano and all her instruments, I mean, that doesn't make her as distinct as her voice does. And from 7th grade to now, she has really progressed in her voice, and it has evolved as she's grown up, if that makes sense. Like through her stages of life, her voice has grown up with her.
Building a public figure has been a huge part of her success, gaining a reputation for her skills and musical flow on Instagram, while publishing covers and snippets of her own songwriting. She will continue her career inspiring many to follow their dreams and dedications.
So last year I went to a program at Berklee College of Music, and it was 5 weeks surrounded by music and musicians and teachers, and in Boston, which is an amazing city for music. And it was just so life-changing because being around people who do the same thing you do is just so inspiring, and I just wanted to get better and practice more, and I wanted to be doing it 24/7. In my near future, I see myself recording my original music and releasing it. I want to release an EP next year, and I also see myself pursuing music in college and as a career. Yeah, just doing it all the time because that's what I love the most.
Dean Myland, CBTV.
That we've fallen into place. It's a simple falling game that we've fallen into place.
With the COVID-19 pandemic hitting Florida like a backhand, Weston Tennis Center provides an outlet for citizens to stay active while social distancing. The Racket Club is extremely efficient when it comes to coronavirus precautions, ensuring that all of its members continue to stay safe and keep their head in the game.
Weston Tennis Center has done a significant amount to work around COVID. We have definitely upped the amount of disinfecting. If a member does test positive, I trace every person that member's played with, and I give them a call, just so I can notify them that they played with somebody that tested positive, so they can go ahead and assist us in testing as well, or quarantining for 2 weeks. That way we make sure that the rest of the membership is safe.
These procedures keep players like Jenny from sitting out on the bench.
As a player here at Weston Tennis Center, I check in at the front desk. I have a temperature check. We're required to wear a mask. We come out we have a separate entrance so we don't have to bypass too many people. And we come out and we try to play with 1 can of balls for one player, 1 can of balls for the other player.
Weston Tennis Center gives an outlet for players to let out COVID-inflicted feelings.
It releases some aggression, relieves some anxieties that I have. It's a great way to get some exercise and to relieve those endorphins.
It's provided an outlet for all these members of Weston Tennis Center, all the guests of Weston, and a good amount of source of revenue for my staff.
As players are already naturally distanced on the court, tennis is an ideal recreational outlet for the community.
And tennis is one of the things you can actually do right now. It's very safe. Everyone is very respectful, so it's been a good experience.
COVID may be negatively impacting Florida, but Weston Tennis Center won't let that push its players to their break point. Alex Land, CBTV.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never heard this song in my life. Few times I've been around that track and I stopped at school. I'll be right back. Cause ain't no holla back girl. Ain't no holla back girl. Oh, this is the Taylor Swift song that everyone said like Starbucks. People said that she said like, gotta love the Starbucks lovers, or like, gotta kill my ex. Nah, I don't know. Witch Doctor, ooh ee, ooh ah ah, ting tang, and if I'm so inclined, walla walla bang bang. A little bit of Monica in my life. A little bit of Serena in my wife. No, that's not. Like a G6, I think once again by Kesha, maybe. Popping bottles in the ice like a blizzard. Me and the boys do it right, eating lizards.
That's all for this week's episode of Aftershock.
If you want to watch previous episodes, visit us on our website, cypressbaycbtv.wixsite.com/cbtv, and follow us on all our social medias at Cypress Bay CBTV. I'm Nicole Borman.
And I'm Alex Land. Thanks for watching.